Greetings. I'm bringing this video to you because this is a message to the men in the world. I was watching this video the other day and I was so upset after watching this video. I called Santos up. Santos Bonacci, for those who aren't familiar with Santos Bonacci. I called Santos up to discuss this with him because I was so angry and I really had a hard time containing my anger. But this is for the men in the world.
Pre-op checks before a surgery that's scheduled and can't be changed. Well, it can be changed.
I think like the baby needs as much rest as possible so that he can.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
No, don't do that, boys. Okay, don't do it.
Please don't do it.
Hey,
We're talking about surgery. And then
you guys are criminals. You are criminals. You are conducting a criminal act here.
so with the pre-op test, it needs to happen before the surgery.
Hey,
it won't happen tomorrow.
we've been talking to you like rational people, and now you just remove you. You are criminals.
So what you're watching here is a child who has to have a procedure done, and the doctor telling the parents that they have to give the child a COVID vaccine before the procedure. And when the parents disagree with the COVID vaccine, the police were called on the parents. So what you're watching, you're about to watch the police take a child from his mother and father.
Move out the way! You guys are acting like criminals! You are acting like criminals! All of you are criminals!
Hey guys, calm down, please. This operation.
You are criminals! You are a criminal, you are a criminal, and you are a criminal, and so are you, and so are you!
Can you guys just give them some space, please?
You are a criminal!
Okay,
You will not be part of the surgery tomorrow! We do not authorise any of that!
I just want to tell you what's happening.
No! We're not listening to what you've got to say!
Why did you do that? He's going to be okay.
No, he is not going to be okay!
And we need to take him to the hospital. We need to take him and we need...
So the mother is begging the hospital for her fucking child, you understand? Jesus, listen. I am so sick of you bitch ass niggas. I am so fucking sick of you fucking you cowards, you fucking clowns. You men, where are the men? You men of the world are bitches. Y'all not standing up for shit. Watch the fucking...
You need to do...
You are criminals!
You will be able to see him after the surgery.
You guys are criminals. You are going to be recorded in the annals of time as criminals who come in here and take babies from their mothers. Do you understand that? Do you guys are even listening to me? Do you understand that you have just kidnapped a baby from its mother without the consent of their parents? You guys have got to understand that you're criminals.
Yes, and we need to do the surgery. But you can't just take my baby like that!
You guys are criminals. You've got to realise that you are now involved in a criminal action.
Did you not see his eyes? Did you not see the operation?
No, you do not need to do the operation. No, you do not.
Jude, please, can I just go down with him?
Hey, we can give you some time in here.
Hey, we don't need any time. You guys are criminals.
Shush, please, excuse me. I just need to be...
So here's the thing. Do you see how the mother is begging and pleading for her own child? You see how the father is in the back trying to have a civilized conversation and say, hey guys, this is criminal. What you're doing is criminal. He isn't raising his voice. He's saying, hey, this is criminal.
You guys need to get out.
Please.
I'm listening to you.
No, you're not.
Please.
You're not listening.
You can't do that. I just need to be with him. I will go with him. You can do what you need to do, but I need to be with him because he needs to be with his mother. Please.
Mate, show your humanity.
Please.
Show your manliness.
Please. I just need to...
We will talk to the hospital staff. Okay? Now,
Hey, what good's that going to do?
shush. You can't just drop him out of the bed like that, please.
Disgusting
hospital
behaviour.
staff has taken the baby for the pre-operation checks.
Yeah.
Against our will.
Shush.
It is in line with the order of the High Court, and they're doing what they need to do now
No,
tonight
I just
for the
need
operation
I
tomorrow.
just need to be next to him. Please.
It's not.
Please.
We're prepared to work with you in that, but
Thank you.
we really need to.
Shush.
We need to be able to converse like we are
Okay,
here.
can I just be there with him? You can do all of that stuff, but I need to be there with him.
Yeah, and that's something we can negotiate with the hospital.
Okay, let's do it.
But
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, but listen, but in terms of what's going on, hey, look, know that I'm referring to, and I don't pretend to know what you're going through at the moment. But I can't imagine that, what you're thinking at the moment and what you're going through.
If any of you were real men, you wouldn't have conducted yourself like this.
She's going to see if she can get you with her. Just, okay?
Real men don't act like this.
So this is the mother begging for her own fucking child, you understand? So let me explain something to you men. Well, fuck it. Let's go and let this thing play out.
Sit down.
You guys like hearing one thing?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Real men don't act like what you've just acted like.
She's going to see what she can do.
Let's have an intelligent conversation. Throwing insults isn't going to
Hey, I'm not insulting you. I'm telling you the truth.
Honestly, that's lucky. Honestly.
Yeah, and like I said, we're prepared to work with you to make that
Okay,
happen.
But you
please,
weren't.
can we just go now then?
You weren't prepared to work with us from the very beginning.
We can't go where they've gone right now.
Why not?
Sam, she's talking.
We'll talk through it, okay?
You know that nurse is crying too because you know this is so wrong.
Know that everyone involved and everyone in this room is upset about the situation. I don't want to be here as much.
You don't have to be here.
Fucking imagine, that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Standing on this side. It's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Hey
You
guys,
need to chuck your bag.
See, the thing about it is, that woman can't beat that man. That big ass man with a gun, she don't know how, she can't beat him.
you hand it in right now and you'll have some decency inside you. Walk out the door and you show what you are.
Okay, it's okay. We just need to be next to him. Oh. Can't believe it.
Okay, so here's my memo to you men out there. I call Santos Bonacci because this is in Australia, and Santos used to live in Australia, and I sent him a bunch of angry messages of how we need to get the fuck over there because this is disgusting. And I didn't sleep that night because somebody just took somebody's baby from them. Police just took somebody's fucking baby. And I didn't get any sleep. Then I woke up the next day and it dawned on me. The father's right there. Let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck how many police you have around me. You can have the motherfucking anything around me. Try to touch my child. I don't give a fuck what you do. You don't let nobody take your child. That man should have did I swear to God, that's not my child. If I was just next door listening to this, I would have been in jail. But guess what? They wouldn't have took that fucking child, rest assured. And if men aren't willing to stand up for their own fucking children, what the fuck are you willing to stand up for? I'm so fucking disgusted. Santos is over here in Mexico going through a bunch of shit because he's brave and he stood up by himself. And that's why I called that little motherfucker. Santos is 140 pounds, 35 pounds soaking wet. But I called Santos because the rest of these men are bitches. And me and Santos don't see eye to eye all the time. But we see eye to eye about taking a child from their mother. And I needed somebody to go over there to fight. But I gotta say, men, you ain't standing up. What the fuck is going on? What happened to men being men? Man, I would have died for that baby that day if I was there gladly. And the fucking father wants to hold the mother and console her. when he should have got a bat, a knife, a gun, and gouged them motherfuckers' eyeballs out. Did everything, bite everything he had for his child. What the fuck is going on when a man lets somebody take his child? You're not men. There ain't no more men out here. You just got a bunch of breed of thugs who think they tough because they got guns in the system, but the men are done. That's why the women are acting like men now. Because these men are cowards and bitches. How you let somebody take your goddamn child? And here I am mad. I'm angry at the goddamn father. When somebody talks about taking your child, get rid of all the words. No more talking. It's nothing to talk about. You talk about taking or touching my child. Understand, there's nothing to talk about except your obituary. Your obituary and who the fuck you want on it. And anybody who come with him is going to get it. Now, where are the men?
You guys, this is so disturbing. This is so disturbing that we're not standing up for the children. As I've also stated, in Baltimore, there have been at least 300 priests and cardinals, Catholic priests and cardinals, that have been accused of sexually molesting and torturing children for the past 8 decades, 80 years, more than 600 children. A judge just on Friday, Judge Vittoria, that is proceeding over the case, who is a member of the Catholic community, he has decided that he is going to seal the identities of the priests and the cardinals. Let me see if I can find an article up here for you guys. Ugh. $150. I'm sorry, no, it's actually 158. Hold on. Let's see here. You see, this is November 17, 2022. Report names 158 Catholic priests accused of abuse after investigation into Archdiocese of Baltimore. A 456-page report from Maryland Attorney General's office identifies 158 Catholic priests accused of sexual abuse, including 43 that were never publicly named by the Archdiocese of Baltimore, as a part of a 4-year investigation into the history of child sexual abuse by members of the clergy. The investigation also identified more than 600 victims of sexual abuse, according to new court filings.
That's just all the people came forward.
The report itself, along with the names of priests, is not public. The Attorney General's office disclosed some details in court filings Thursday, as it is requested permission to release information that the Archdiocese provided in response to a grand jury subpoena. Grand jury records are secret under Maryland law, but can be released with a judge's permission. The Attorney General's office filed a 35-page motion in Baltimore City Circuit Court on Thursday. It was not immediately clear whether the Archdiocese will object to the release of the documents. The filing provides some details of what the report will contain and alleges that the Archdiocese fails to report many allegations of sexual abuse, conduct adequate investigations, remove abuses from ministry, or restrict their access to children. The Attorney General's investigation uncovered pervasive sexual abuse among the priesthood and repeated failures by the Archdiocese to protect the children of Baltimore, the office wrote. Time and again, the Archdiocese chose the abuser over the abused, the powerful over the weak, and the adult over the child. Hundreds of Marylanders have suffered mentally and physically for decades because of the Archdiocese decisions. Now is the time The filings continue, publicly airing the transgressions of churches and critical to holding people and institutions accountable and improving the way sexual abuse allegations are handled going forward.
Remember, that's Ivan Bates. See, the reason why Ivan Bates, our state's attorney, he's not doing anything because the pedophile is coming from the state's attorney's office. The state's attorney is hiding the pedophiles just like Marilyn Mosby.
Yep.
Our state's attorneys are hiding the pedophiles and protecting the pedophile. Marilyn Mosby is protecting all the pedophiles, and Ivan Bitch Bates, you fucking goofy bitch, is hiding and protecting pedophiles.
David Lorenz, who leads the Maryland chapter of Survivors Network of those abused by priests, said reading details of report was painful. I'm sick to my stomach, Lorenz said. Not that I'm surprised, because it's in line with everything that's ever happened across the country. Lorenz said releasing the full report and critical in a part of other abuse survivors who have not yet come forward might feel safer to do so if they see other stories. We need to see the names of the perpetrators, he said. We need to hear the stories of the survivors. That's the only way sometimes you can come forward. You say I'm not the only one. Attorney General Brian E. Frost launched the investigation in 2019, soon after Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro released nearly 900 pages report detailing decades of abuse by more than 300 predator priests. More than a dozen attorney generals around the nation said that they would investigate clergy abuse in the state in the wake of Pennsylvania report. Christian Krynczewski, the Archdiocese Executive Director of Communications, said in a statement, I apologize, I know I botched up that name. The Archdiocese recognizes the release of report on child sexual abuse over many decades would undoubtedly be a source of renewed pain for survivors of abuse, their loved ones, as well as the faithful of the Archdiocese. The Archdiocese continues to offer its profound apologies to all who have been harmed by a minister of the church and assure them our heartfelt prayers for their continued healing. We don't give a shit about y'all's prayers. Y'all prayers is what got the children touched. The Archdiocese remains committed to pastoral outreach to those who have been harmed as well as to protect the children in the future. No, we want y'all far the fuck away from the children, you perverts. For more than 4 years, the Archdiocese of Baltimore has fully cooperated with investigations conducted by the Office of Attorney General in Maryland, looking back over 80 years, including by providing more than 100,000 papers. The Archdiocese will continue to cooperate any legal processes related to Attorney General's investigation. The Attorney General's filing describes pervasive sexual abuse and the church that tried to cover up the problem. One congregation was assigned 11 sexually abusive priests over a span of 40 years, the document claims. Victims sometimes ended up reporting sexual abuse to members of the clergy who themselves were perpetrators. In one instance, the Archdiocese assigned a priest who had been accused of abusing children in Nashville to a parish in Baltimore. A nun reported the abuse when a victim confided in her. The filing claims, but was told she should not tell anyone else about the abuse. In the other case, the Archdiocese assigned a priest who had been accused of sexual misconduct to serve as Baltimore area Catholic high school's chaplain. The Attorney General's office wrote, when 4 boys reported being abused a few years later, the priest was reassigned to a convent, and the Archdiocese made no efforts to discover if they were other victims. In the 1990s, the priest disappeared and was not found until 2002. According to the filing, people connected to Archdiocese visited the priest in the Caribbean during those years. That's what they do. When they get caught up with the kids, they send them in the middle of bumfuck nowhere where no one knows who they are, like i.e. the Caribbean, And then they go and they do the same thing there, where there's no real kind of system put in place. Of the 43 priests, wait a minute, I think I skipped something. The filings also explain why the full report should be made public. Information about priests who were already prosecuted for sexual abuse or listed as a credible accused by the Archdiocese should be released because it is already public. The Attorney General's office argued, of the 43 priests that have never been named by the Archdiocese, 30 are dead. So it's 13 left. 13 left. 30 are dead of the 43 because they let them do this shit for a course of 80 years. According to the filing, so their interest is privacy is reduced. So they're going to give you their names because they're dead. The Attorney General's office said it would react in identifying information about the 13 who still alive and have not been prosecuted. 13, there's that number 13, that magic number 13 we keep telling y'all about. Listen, if you guys think that we just coming and pulling shit out of our ass, look at it for yourself. The report is likely to reinvigorate efforts to extend the statute of limitations for childhood sexual abuse claims and open a retroactive window for survivors to sue. Maryland lawmakers successfully raised the statute of limitations in 2017, granting abuse victims until their 38th birthday to bring civil claims. But the General Assembly has not passed a window that would revive claims that already passed the statute of limitations. Statute of limitations reform has repeatedly passed the House of Delegates and stalled in the Maryland Senate. Senator William C. Smith Jr., the chair of the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee, said Thursday that he believes the legislation process will go differently in this upcoming session. We planned an early session briefing to address the lingering issues surrounding the statute of limitations. Now, you guys have to see how despicable this is. Now, let me show you another article where the judge is sealing the records. Judge Victoria.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Mommy's working.
Yes, sir. What do I say?
Here you go. This is 5 days ago. This is how sick. And understand that this judge is a part of it. Okay, 1 second. 1 second, guys. I am going to leave this up here so you guys can briefly look at this while I get my kids settled. Y'all know I got a bunch of kids. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, look at his face. Just look at him. Come on, Julius. Come on. I am. Okay, it's on. All right, it's on. Close your door, sweetie. Okay, I apologize. This is what happens when you got to do things like this. Oh, wait a minute. They trying to cover this up? Oh, no, we're going to pull this out today. Maryland judge seals proceedings around Catholic clergy sexual abuse report. This is Baltimore Archbishop William Lowry in 2017. Pervert. And let me tell you, all of these people are perverts. I remember going to these Catholic churches with my friend. They were Catholic. And I got to tell you, every time I went to any of those church ceremonies with them, like literally, I couldn't even sit for the whole thing. I would pass out because the energy was so fucked up in there, but I didn't know what was going on. A Baltimore Circuit Court judge has sealed all records, including retroactively some that are already public. So he sealed records now that were already public because they're dirty, filthy scoundrels and they're just disgusting perverts. Get your children. Some of them were already public, related to Attorney General Brian E. Frosh's 456-page report into historical clergy sexual abuse in the Archdiocese of Baltimore. Circuit Court Judge Anthony Vittoria. Please, y'all, I beg you, please remember this man's name. Because he is the devil. And he is a part of the Catholic Church committee as well. So isn't that a conflict of interest? How can somebody on this committee be proceeding over this court? How? How can he be proceeding over this trial? We're talking 600 children. Judge Anthony Victoria, ruling Friday, concurs with a request to the court made November 21 by an anonymous group of people who are named in the report but are not accused of abuse. The report includes allegations of cover-up and mishandling as well as abuse. Lawyers for the group filed a request to keep all filings and proceedings around the release of the report secret until a judge rules whether the report, which is already under seal, should be released, and to provide their clients an confidential opportunity to address the court before the decision is reached. To preserve the secrecy and sanctity of grand jury proceedings, the court finds that all proceedings, filings, and communication regarding this matter are to be confidential. Victoria's ruling said, according to a copy published Monday afternoon in the Baltimore Sun, all future filings, Victoria wrote, are to be delivered to his chambers, not to the clerk. So anything that anyone wants to bring, they can't even send it through the normal channels. They have to send it directly to him. A spokesperson for Frosh had no comment, citing the judge's call for confidentiality. The report is the result of nearly 4 years investigation by Frosh's office, which includes testimony before a grand jury. Such testimony is normally private unless a judge rules otherwise. On November 17th, Frosh's office filed a 35-page request in circuit court for the full report to be released. Now is the time for reckoning. Now is the time for reckoning, said in November 17th filing. Yeah, because it needs to be a goddamn reckoning. Publicly airing the transgressions of the church is critical to holding people and institutions accountable and improving the way sexual abuse allegations are handled going forward. The filing said is to found 158 priests who abused more than 600 young victims over 80 years. The Archdiocese has no comment. It has said that it does not oppose the release of the report, but it also confirmed later that it is paying in part of the legal fees for anonymous groups. The Archdiocese has obligations to some of the individuals, which may include, I'm so disgusted, in indemnifying legal fees for representation, Archbishop William Lowry said in November 2022, the gentleman that was in that picture. So they're going to pay the legal fees. So the victims, they're going to pay the legal fees for the victims, for the groups of people who are coming forward about this shit. The effort to keep the proceedings secret mirrors legal wrangling that precedes the release of an explosive report on sexual abuse in the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania in 2018. The only other report like Maryland's in the end. The state Supreme Court released the report, but with some of 300 alleged predators' names redacted. Advocates have argued that such reports by state prosecutors, i.e. Marilyn Mosby, i.e. Ivan Bates, that ain't saying shit about this, are the only way to establish for the history's sake, for the victims, survivors, what happened. In many places, civil and criminal statutes of limitation make it impossible for victims, who often are unable for decades to come forward to seek justice in civil court. So understand that these sick motherfuckers get to control the whole proceeding. They have nothing but protection. You guys think that you're casting these votes, and you think that these people, you got some say-so in this, but you ain't got no say-so in anything, because your children are not protected. Your children are not protected. I am so disgusted. I am so disgusted that someone that has a conflict of interest, who is a member of the Catholic Church community, gets to dictate what is released or not. Why don't we have these 158 priests' names? Why? We want their names. And out of 43, 30 of them are dead. But there's that number, magic number 13. That marks death. We keep trying to tell y'all. Probe of Baltimore Archdiocese finds over 600 clergy sexual allegations. This is Brian Frost. This is the guy that's trying to end this shit. This story has been updated, more detailed comment for Archdiocese. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I am just so disgusted. Have a seat, sweetheart. All right. Nearly 4 years investigation. Okay, so no, this is pretty much the article that I've already read, you guys. But please listen. Now let's look up the Judge Anthony Vittoria, because he's got to get outed. You got to see his picture. I haven't seen it, so we're going to see this together. Anthony Vittoria is a judge of the Maryland 8th Circuit Court, Baltimore City. He assumed office on October 29, 2019. Right before the pandemic, huh? His current term ends on December 31st, 2035. Vittoria ran for re-election for judge of the Maryland 8th Circuit Court, Baltimore City. So let's see if we can find a hideous picture of this man. Here we go. Is this him? New president. Here you go. This gotta be him. Let's see here. We're gonna put all their fucking faces out here. Judge Vittoria has provided pro bono legal services through Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service and Civil Justice for over 2 decades. Nonprofit legal services provider established in 1981 to help meet the need of civil legal services in Maryland. Their mission is to connect the low-income Marylanders with volunteer lawyers and community partners to deliver free legal services. Look at him. Look at that smirk. Look at this. Look at that face. Look at this face of this devil. This is a devil. This is the devil. Look at him. He doesn't want you to know the priests, the 158 priests who have sexually abused and tortured children for the past 80 years. He's saying that you should know. Him, Judge Anthony Vittoria from Maryland's 8th District. He's telling you that you don't need to know. This guy, this piece of shit right here, he gets to make that decision for you and your children. This guy, this piece of shit, he gets to make this decision for you.
For 8 decades?
8 decades. 8 decades, this devil. Wait till you see what this devil looks like.
I know what he looks like.
Wait till you see what this devil looks like. This judge is protecting the sanctity of the fucking church, but not the sanctity and the purity of the children. The children are the closest thing to God. Don't we know that?
So, this piece of filth.
Judge Anthony Victoria.
So understand, everybody who has a child who's been molested, remember his face and his name.
Look at that smirk.
Remember his face and his name. And if you want to, you probably should want to talk to him. So I'm saying, listen, it comes to a point where you got to stop talking to people. When someone's made it okay to fuck little boys and little girls, it's got to be a point where you say, hey, that's enough talking. We need to start talking about chopping their fucking heads off for molesting our children. Fuck this talking. Time for talk.
Look at these motherfuckers who got to touch the children.
Yeah.
Look at these disgusting, filthy scoundrels that get to touch our children and then get to hide behind their court system and say it's okay.
That's
and
right,
don't get to say who it is. Oh yeah, I put all of them out there. Marilyn Mosby, y'all not doing shit about the children. Look at this. 158 priests. At least they have the names of, but it's 300 in total. Oh, and let me tell you, honey,
What's that?
43 have been brought up. 30 of them are already fucking dead. So it leaves how many?
Oh, that makes sense.
13.
There you go.
13.
So they listen.
And they're going to release the ones that are fucking dead, of course.
Well, listen, it's too late though. They done
Of course they're dead. Oh yeah, no, it's all in there. And I was telling them that's what they do. They get caught up and then they send them in the middle of bumfuck nowhere so they can do it all over again where no one knows who the hell they are.
Yeah.
So you guys remember Judge Anthony Victoria. You don't ever forget him. You don't ever forget his name.
His face.
You don't forget his name and you don't forget his face.
Post his face everywhere. Remember his fucking face. We're gonna put it on Facebook and let everybody know this.
He is a part of it. Look at this.
Look at this. Tell it. He's a fucking pedophile.
Look at him.
Look at all of them.
Look at him.
The only people who protect pedophiles are pedophiles themselves.
Pedophiles. Why are pedophiles proceeding over anything? Why do they have any honorary any fuck? Why?
Guess what? They gonna burn. Y'all just remember his face.
Y'all are allowing this cunnery, this fuckery. And we in Mexico. Who knows? Y'all allowing this fuckery to go on. Look at this piece of shit. He gets to say
80 years.
80 years of abuse gets to get sealed for the sanctity of the fuck ass Catholic Church that we all know are molesting children. We all know it. Underneath the Seton Kills Church in Baltimore, they had all kinds of dead babies underneath of their goddamn church. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that for you.
Seton Kehoe is an all girls private school in Baltimore. Catholic.
Man, this is just so fucking crazy.
Did you do the Bob Battle?
Oh, this woman right here. This sister Catherine Sesnick. She was defending the children. She was coming forward about what was going on with the children, and she turned up missing. She was kidnapped. I don't even know if they even found. Okay, I'm sorry. They found her body in 1970. Let's see here. Disappearance and death. In the fall of 1969, Sesnick was teaching drama and English at Archbishop Keough High School in Baltimore, Maryland, a school for girls that had opened in 1965. In November 7, 1969, she left the apartment she shared with Helen Russell Phillips at Carriage House Apartments at 131 North Bend Road in Catonsville, en route to Edmondson Village Shopping Center to purchase
house and it's my store.
to purchase a gift for her sister's engagement at Hex Jewelry Store. Y'all remember Hex? If you're from America, you remember Hex. She cashed a paycheck at First National Bank in Catonsville that night. She I'm sorry, I'm losing my spot. She may have made a purchase at Muley's Bakery in Edmondson Village, since a box of buns from the bakery was found in the front seat of her car. At 4:40 a.m. the next morning, Russell's friend Peter McKeon and Jared J. Cobb, both Catholic priests, found Sesnick's car in the muddy condition and illegally parked across from her apartment complex. Residents at the apartment complex knows that Sesnick in her car at approximately 8:30 at night, and the other spotted her car illegally parked across from the street after 2 hours. Immediately after Sesnick's disappearance, police searched the area for her body without success. On January 3rd, 1970, her body was found by a hunter and his son in an informal landfill located on the 21 block of Monument Road in a remote area of Lansdowne. It's all connected to you, honey.
Yes, all my place, my store.
Yep.
I grew up at.
Yep. So it says in 2017, they reported the allegation of 3 women that during Sesnick's tenure at Archbishop Keough High School, 2 of the priests, Joseph Maskell and E. Neil Magnus, were sexually abusing the girls at the school in addition to trafficking them to others. In 1995, Teresa Lancaster and Jean Weiner, former students at Keough who said that they were sexually abused by Maskell, filed a lawsuit against him. The school gynecologist Christian Richter, a school sister of Notre Dame, the Archdiocese of Baltimore, and William Keeler. The trial court dismissed the action as time barred by statute of limitations. The plaintiffs appealed, and they were granted by the Maryland Court of Appeals, which upheld the lower court decision, ruling in part that the mental process of repression of memories and past sexual abuse does not activate the discovery rule. The plaintiffs sued as thus barred by the statute of limitations. So that's how they fuck them all over. Why is there a statute of limitation when somebody fucked the kid? Like, how can there be a statute? Like, that should be just like fucking murder. There's no statute of limitation of murder. It shouldn't be no statute of limitation of a child being fucking a pedophile raping them. Oh, man. Werner said that Sesnick once came to her and said gently, "Are the priests hurting you?" Both women have said that she was the only member of the school staff who helped them and other girls abused by Maskell, and said that she was murdered prior to discussing the matter with the Archdiocese of Baltimore. The Baltimore Sun reported in late 2016 that since 2011, the Archdiocese had paid out settlements to Maskell's alleged victims. Werner says that 2 months before Sesnick's body was discovered, and only a day or two after Sesnick's disappearance on November 1969, Maskell drove her to a wooded site near Fort Meade and showed her the body. Weiner says that she remembers trying to repeatedly brush off the maggots crawling on Sesnick's face while frantically repeating the words, "Help me, help me." Her account was brought into question by scientific evidence showing that it would have been impossible for maggots to be alive at the time of 1 year. These pieces of shit. Man. However, Spitz, who worked on the case, later confirmed that there had to have been maggots in both the victim's mouth and trachea, which, when found, who worked on the case later confirmed that I'm repeating the same line. The records also revealed that temperatures during the week in question were warm enough for maggots to hatch. The Huffington Post reported that Maskell told Weiner, "You will see what happens when you say bad things about people." You understand that these motherfuckers are the devil. They're the devil. So all you motherfuckers who are going to church on Sunday and you praising these disgusting perverts that you know are fucking perverts, you're not getting the word of God, you piece of shit. You're just trying to be around the other motherfuckers that are just disgusting as you. Several days later, on November 13th, here we go, 1969, the body of Joyce Malachi, a 20-year-old woman who looked like Weiner, was discovered by 2 hunters in the same wooded location where Maskell had driven Weiner. Sisnick's body was not found until January 3rd of 1970, and it's discovered by two hunters was not in the woods. I'm sorry, and its discovery by two hunters was not in the wooded location near Fort Meade, but on the open hill trash dump of a small business property in Lansdowne. In 2016, Baltimore County Police reassigned the case due to retiring officers, prompting new interviews and further investigation into alleged sexual abuse at Keogh. After obtaining permission from State's Attorney's Office, you hear that? You hear that? Ivan Bates, Marilyn
Authorization to do something the entire time. Fuck you. Y'all could have helped these children and you did nothing, Ivan Bates. You bitch. Marilyn Mosby, you did nothing while these children were getting molested, Marilyn Mosby. You ain't shit. This ain't Democrat or Republican. It's you terrible demons. Won't you see that the system is the devil and they hire demons to do their work?
That's right. And this investigation that we're currently talking about, not the Seton Keogh one, the one that we're currently talking about, this investigation goes back to 2017 when Marilyn bitch-ass Mosby has been there the entire time. Now, she about to walk out of there and say, oh, I'm leaving. And Ivan Bates gets to walk in and say, oh, I just got here. Right. You know, that's what the fuck they get to do. Just like the children who have been traumatized and fucked up, they get to go to a court of the motherfucking that's on the Catholic committee that gets to say, oh, well, you can't blame what happened to you psychologically because of the statute of limitations, because that has something to do with somebody's mental well-being. A statute of limitation, all those things are considered, right? Because statute of limitations aren't created for fucking criminals, right? No, not at all. Anyway, okay, after obtaining permission from State's Attorney's Office, the Baltimore City Police exhumed the body of Maskell, the piece of shit that was molesting all the children, who died from a major stroke in 2001. 2000 was a big year. That's September 11th, too. But did not find DNA match to the evidence from the crime scene. Police spokesperson Elise Armacost announced that this discovery does not exclude Maskell from being a suspect in the case. Okay, and I want you guys to, if you get some time, Netflix has done a mini series about Sister Sisnick's murder, and you guys can get into more detail as this poor woman was trying to help these fucking kids, man.
And guess what? Where was the man? Where was the man? What man stood up?
No, the men were fucking the kids.
So no, exactly. You still have a situation where a woman is standing up. A woman is standing up because there are no men.
Right. So, Baltimore has a filthy, disgusting history of this. And she's from, yes, I will. And she's from Pennsylvania. And understand that she's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Understand that the original court hearings and stuff like that are stemming into these proceedings that are going on now with Judge Anthony Vittoria, it started in Pennsylvania. It started in Pennsylvania because it's all the same network. The Catholic Church, they have ties everywhere, and everybody works in the same places. It's completely, fully controlled. That's why they have judges. That's why they have politicians. That's why they have state's attorney, the police department. They all collude together. And yeah, I said it, the word collusion. Conspiracy. This is your system.
Show Ivan Bates.
I will. I'm about to show him and Mosby. Now, let's see here. This is Marilyn Mosby. Now, Marilyn Mosby is the acting state's attorney right now. She's on her way the fuck out because she's a disgusting lying bitch.
Crook.
And she's a crook.
And don't nobody like her.
So, this is Marilyn Mosby. This is Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby is a sister gal. She thinks she cute, and you know she's considered, you know, like a good looking black girl. So you know they're just, you know, letting her just have her fucking way. This is Marilyn Mosby. Look at her fucking twisted up mouth. You ugly bitch. You filthy scoundrel. You filthy scoundrel. You knew about these priests. You knew about these priests and you ain't do a goddamn thing. You ain't stepping.
No, she
you got two girls. You got two little girls. You got two little beautiful girls. And you don't give a fuck about other people's little girls and boys being fucked.
Because she's a demon.
Alright, now let me show you who Ivan Bates is.
Here you go. Right there. Here you go.
Ahoy.
Hey, can I lock a nigga up today? I want to lock up a nigga.
Yeah, I don't want to lock up a nigga.
I want to put somebody in a cage.
I don't want to lock up a
Let me put a nigga in a cage. Put niggas in cages is fun.
Connected to.
Put niggas in cages is so much fun. I'm Ivan Bates.
Yeah,
I love putting niggas in cages.
Yeah, there you go. This is Ivan Bates. He is the new Maryland State Prosecutor.
State's attorney, right?
I'm sorry, yeah, State's Attorney. But he's the lead prosecutor.
Don't worry about it. He regardless, they're all just
look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
Look, somebody's dumb again.
Go.
Just looking dumb again.
Look at him.
Tell me this is not the same person. Man, I'm so disgusted. Everybody walk away from racism.
For real.
Walk away from racism.
Yeah, and know that fight evil. This is evil.
Yeah.
This is evil. He ain't doing a goddamn thing. He ain't doing a goddamn thing. He's talking about locking people up for drugs and all kinds of bullshit like this when he is fully aware of what's going on in these Catholic churches. Fully aware.
All right, let's get off of this because I'm mad.
So understand that this woman right here, I want y'all to see her. Her name is Sister Kathy Sesnick. Send her a prayer. They murdered her. They murdered this woman because she was standing up. Because she said, you know what?
Because there ain't no men. Because no men ain't standing up.
Because the men are fucking the children.
What? Yeah.
The men.
I'm talking about the one who are just watching the men fuck the children.
Yeah.
Nobody's standing up.
Yeah.
There are no men.
No men. No men. But she stood up. She lost her life for it. But trust me, she's an angel now. She's on the other side doing her thing. So, you know, I want to share another video with you guys that I think is really, really, really important for you guys to see. To see that
the animals are better than us.
The animals
are way better than us. I understand why people are becoming vegan because the animals are better than us. That'll be proven. Yeah,
I'm getting get him some music to play with it because
yeah. So
it's violent.
So listen, I want you to understand that vegans, shut up for now. I'm with you, but shut up. Things are more important than that. So shut up. I don't eat meat. I don't mention it because I'm fighting against pedophiles. So stop what the fuck you eat and what somebody else eat and fight pedophilia. You do that. But vegans are right. The animals are better than humans.
Yes, they are.
They're way better than humans. You'll see.
Alright guys, I'm going to play this video for you guys. I want you guys to see just how every part of the world is afraid of something. Everything in the world is afraid of something. We understand that. But at some point, you're supposed to stand up. And when it comes to the babies, you're supposed to stand up. So, look at this. Nothing's working for me right now.
To not mention at all. So your bodyguard kiss you while he first better than yours. Matter of fact, you had the worst flow in the whole fucking song. But I know the sun don't shine, the sun don't shine. That's why your careers come to one end. It's only so long, fake thugs to pretend. Nigga, you ain't live it, you witnessed it from your folks' pen. You scribbled in your notepad and created saved your life. I showed you your first text, you told it Lord Professor. Then I heard your album about your text on the dresser. So yeah, I sampled your voice, you was using it wrong. You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. And you ain't get a coin, nigga, you was getting fucked in. I know who I paid off, Searchlight Publishing. Use your been in this 10, I've been in it 5. Smart enough, dog. 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I could divide, that's one that be, let's say 2. 2 of them shits was due. One was live, the other was Illmatic. That's a one hot album, every 10-year average, and that's so. Nigga, switch up your flow, your shit is garbage. You trying to kick knowledge? Your niggas gonna learn to respect the king. Don't be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen, because you know who. Yeah, you know what, well you know who. Just keep that between me and you. ROC, we running this rap shit. M-Easy, we running this rap shit. The Broad Street Bully, we running this rap shit. Get zipped up in plastic when it happens, stop it. Freak, wait, we running this rap shit. Owen Sparks, we running this rap shit. Chris and Neat, we running this rap shit. A wise man told me don't argue with fools, cause people from a distance can tell who is who. So stop with that childish shit.
The lions are chasing the buffalo. This is the system. The lions are the system. It's only 4 of them motherfuckers. Look, they stole a baby. They took the buffalo's babies because they're cowards. They didn't go after the big kill. They took the baby.
You made your bed, now sleep. Don't make me expose
Look at the baby.
Don't know you, nigga. I know you well.
What is it? It's 4 lions. Is it 4 or 5? It's 5 lions on a baby. You saw all them goddamn buffalo that they were. They took the baby.
Fuck y'all niggas.
And that's exactly how they feel about us.
Come on. Love my girl. She looking good. Come on. One more. 5 to 1, baby. 185.
Yep.
No one here gets out alive now. You get yours, baby. I'll get mine. Gonna make it, baby, if we try.
Look, alligator. Alligators after the damn baby now. Because the alligators are coward too. Because he ain't even gonna touch the food. He gonna steal the shit that they don't cook.
Your ballroom days are over, baby. Night is
But watch what happens. Something's going to happen. Because remember, that's their baby. That's their baby. And you know what they said? Fuck these 5 lions. Look how many of us it is. We bigger than them. We stronger than them. We got the numbers. All they got is the clout. They came back for that fucking baby. They don't fight. They don't fight lions. Lions run the whole shit. Who's the king of the jungle? The lion is the king of the jungle. Shouldn't the elephant be the king of the jungle? Way bigger. They running. Because that's what happens when you confront them. Because they cowardly bitches. We got the numbers. We got the numbers.
Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over. shadows of the
Yeah, they got the baby back. There's the baby. They got him back. The animals are men. These are men. I wish we had more men like my husband and these fucking bulls.
Flower in your hand, trying to tell me no one
Look at them, running like cowards. Cowards! That's what they all are.
Gonna make it, baby, in our prime. Come together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together one more time. Get together.
Come together one more time. Listen, we gotta come together. The kids are our future, man. We got to come together. They gonna chase their ass all the way down the fucking hill.
They stood up.
And now they realize something. They
don't ever have to run from them again.
No, they chasing their asses.
That's right.
Them lions ain't going to do that shit again.
It's over. They are no longer going to be chased by lions. You understand? They just changed their life. I'm gonna leave you in closing. Let me. I got one more thing I want to show.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to pause this.
Got you. I'm gonna leave you in closing with this last video. I am Santana Nottage, or I used to be Santana Nottage. But the greatest speech in the world made me change my name. And I want to share the greatest speech I ever heard, because it inspires me every time I hear it. I need you to understand this speech, because this is a speech for humanity. We need it.
It's on mute. Unmute it and rewind it back.
We've got. Can you count, suckers? I say the future is ours. If you can count.
Yes.
Now look what we have here before us. We've got the Saracens sitting next to the Jones Street Boys. We've got the Moon Runners right by the Van Cortlandt Rangers.
Look at how many people wearing glasses.
Nobody is wasting nobody.
Zero.
Or wearing glasses.
That is a miracle. And miracles is the way things ought to be.
Ain't that right?
You're standing right now with 9 delegates from 100 gangs. And there's over 100 more. That's 20,000 hardcore members. 40,000 counting affiliates. And 20,000 more not organized, but ready to fight. 60,000 soldiers. Now there ain't but 20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
That's right.
gang, nothing would move without us allowing it to happen. We can tax the crime syndicates, the police, because we got the streets, suckers! Can you dig it?
This is peaceful. Nothing is going on. No one's fighting.
He's actually saying, come together.
Understand? This is peaceful. The gangs are having a peaceful discussion. No violence. It doesn't get violent until the police get there.
The problem in the past has been the man turning us against one another. We have been unable to see the truth because we have been fighting for 10 square feet of ground. Our turf. Our little piece of turf. That's crap, brothers. The turf is ours by right.
That's right.
Because it's our turn.
It's our turn.
All we have to do is keep up the general truce.
Truce.
Take over one borough at a time. Secure our territory. Secure our turf. Because it's all our turf.
So we're simply saying, here's a beautiful man
Giving
telling
a
the
beautiful
world
message.
he was able to get all the gangs together.
They fight every day.
Exactly. To give them a message that, hey, they've got us fighting against each other and we're being distracted with them fucking little boys and girls because they put us at each other.
Exactly.
And he's saying, let's call a truce and stop fighting each other because we got the numbers. They can't lock all of us up. They can't shoot all of us up. We got the numbers.
We got
if we're
the
not
numbers.
willing to fight for the babies,
what are we here for?
Yeah, because
the babies are the future.
They are
You're
the
supposed
future.
to be fighting for the future. If you're not fighting for the babies, you have no future. So you might as well fucking die.
Yeah,
Just
it's a waste of
submit now
space.
and just fucking die now.
Honestly, if you're not willing to stand up for an innocent baby, just go and kill yourself. You're a waste of space.
Yeah.
You're a waste of space because you're taking up resources that somebody who wants to protect a baby can be using. So if you can't protect the baby because you want to stay in your comfort zone, just understand 1692, Trailing Witch Sow's trial of Tituba, 1705, the entire black population became slaves. You understand? If you watch and do nothing, it's going to happen to you.
It will. It will. So, in closing,
fuck Marilyn Mosby.
Yeah, definitely fuck Marilyn Mosby. Fuck Ivan Bates.
Fuck that judge. Whatever his ragged ass name is.
That's who I was pulling up. Fuck the honorable. Ain't nothing honorable about you. Ain't nothing honorable about you. You're deplorable.
You're gonna have an honorable death.
You're deplorable. Anthony F. Anthony, fuck you, Victoria. You piece of shit. You piece of shit for keeping the identities away from the public of the pedophiles and perpetrators that have raped our fucking children for 80 years. Fuck you. You don't get to make that decision. I pray to God this message resonates with y'all and y'all reach out so we can band together because that is what has to happen. You understand that this woman's child just got kidnapped and forced to get a vaccine because there was no men around to stand up to make sure her baby didn't get the fucking death shot. This judge decided that you don't need to know the fucking pedophiles that have been molesting and torturing children for the past 80 years. He said you don't need to know. because the sanctity of the disgusting, perverted, pedophilia Catholic Church is more important than the sanctity and the purity of our children, our future. So,
notice we didn't say black or white or Democrat or Republican.
Or gay or anything like that.
We will talk about that after we finish fucking them up.
Yeah, let's talk about that later. Let's save the children. So, pass this message along. I pray to God it inspires you.
Listen,
because those animals,
it's okay to be angry.
Those animals inspired me. Those animals inspired me because that was a pack of buffalo that are a docile group of animals that do not engage in violence like the savages of the lions, the bullies, the government, the system. Because understand that the lions are considered the king of the jungle, but the elephant is way fucking bigger, way bigger. But the system said that it's the lion, so the lion gets to walk around with the confidence and the clout. Well, what happens when you fuck that lion up and you tell them, hey, just because they said this, don't make it fucking true. So, we got the numbers. It's us. It's up to us. It's up to us. Stop sending your children into these buildings. They're demonic. They're demonic. Don't trust your children with nobody. I don't give a fuck if they're a pastor, a priest, or anything.
Or uncle.
Or uncle. Don't trust them. Because don't nobody love your baby but you. And maybe you don't. But if you love a child, you know if you love the child. Don't leave them with anyone. Alright. So, we're going to leave it at that.
And I'm not apologizing for being angry.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no.
Everybody is supposed to be angry.
We should be angry about this. Maryland judge seals proceedings around Catholic clergy sexual abuse report. We are supposed to be angry. We're supposed to be angry. We're supposed to be angry that a baby needed surgery and the hospital and the police get to dictate to the parent that they need a fucking vaccination before a surgery. Which makes no sense medically. No sense. So, we're supposed to be angry.
A medical person didn't decide it.
We're supposed to be angry. Fuck these judges. These judges are protecting the system. They're protecting the church. They're protecting the science. So, fuck the system. I'm going to leave it at that. Please pass this message on. Please get inspired. Please get some strength. Please grow some courage. Fuck that. Even if it ain't a man, find your warriors. Find somebody who stands for something and has something called fucking integrity. Find that. And it may look different. It may not look like whatever you look like. But if they got integrity, well, they ready to step up on the battlefield, and that's what we need right now. Because they killing our babies.
We are at war.
And we are at war. They declared the war, by the way.
That's right.
We didn't declare it. They did. Remember.
Y'all don't know you're in the war.
Remember. Remember. And for all of you who don't think you're in a war, wake the fuck up. Because you are in a war.